Tibetan Mastiff versus Lion. What if they would fight? There is a hypothetical confrontation that sparks the imagination and challenges the very essence of predator supremacy. Picture this: a Tibetan Mastiff, revered for its imposing stature and protective instincts, facing off against a regal and ferocious lion, the undisputed king of the jungle. The ancient Tibetan Mastiff, with its long flowing mane and royal size, is known as a gentle giant and the lion of dog breeds. Today, these gorgeous dogs continue fulfilling out their historic guardian duties. Lions, as symbols of strength and courage, have long been connected with monarchy and valor. Lions have been portrayed as both heroes and villains in numerous stories, from Rome's gladiatorial arenas to the silver screen. What do they look like? The Tibetan Mastiff's defining features are his lion-like mane and massive stature. Full-grown male Tibetan Mastiffs can be 26 inches, 66 centimeters at the shoulder, and can weigh between 90 and 150 pounds, 40 to 68 kilograms. The breed's thick double coat can be black, brown, blue-gray, red, or gold. Sometimes they have markings around the eyes, muzzle, throat, legs, and tail that vary from silver to mahogany. The outer texture of that coat is thick and coarse, while the inner texture is soft and wool-like. The tail is feathered, similar to the mane, and arches over the dog's back in a curl. The ever-watchful, serious, deep-set eyes can be any shade of brown. The body of this giant is slightly longer than it is tall in height. The muzzle is broad and squared, and this strong pup carries the constant expression of a watchful dog. The lion is a muscular cat with a big body, massive head, and short legs. Size and appearance differ significantly between the sexes. The male's distinguishing feature is his mane, which varies throughout individuals and populations. It can be completely missing, fringed around the face, or large and shaggy, covering the back of the head, neck, and shoulders, and going across the throat and chest to join a fringe along the belly. Some lions have an extremely dark mane and fringe, almost black, which gives the animal a magnificent aspect. A fully mature male is around 6 to 7 feet, 1.8 to 2.1 meters long, excluding the tail. A male lion can weigh between 370 and 500 pounds, 170 to 230 kilograms. The lion's coat is short and varies in color from buff yellow, orange-brown, or silvery gray to dark brown, with a tuft on the tail tip that is usually darker than the rest of the coat. Where do they come from, and where do they live? The Tibetan Mastiff originated, where else, in Tibet. Like so many breeds, he has little documented history from before the late 19th century, but he's believed to have been around for many centuries. DNA evidence indicates that Mastiff-type canines evolved in Tibet some 5,000 years ago, and the Tibetan Mastiff is undoubtedly a descendant of those dogs. There is little known about the Tibetan Mastiff before 1800. In 1847, the first dog from Tibet was imported to England and given to Queen Victoria as a gift from Lord Hardinge, the Viceroy of India. In 1873, England's Kennel Club was formed, and the Tibetan Mastiff was officially entered into the stud book as the Tibetan Mastiff, leaving its earlier title as Large Dog from Tibet behind. The late 1950s saw 2 Tibetan Mastiffs given to the President of the United States, but the dogs were taken to a farm and vanished from public scrutiny. It wasn't until 1970 that many more Tibetan Mastiffs were imported into the United States, where they became the foundation dogs of the US line. The American Kennel Club very recently recognized the breed as a working group member in January 2007. A purebred Tibetan Mastiff is difficult to locate in Tibet nowadays, but one can occasionally be found traveling with caravans and traders, as well as guarding livestock and homes. The word lion comes from Latin leo and ancient Greek leob, lion. There are two different lion subspecies. Panthera leo-melanchita dwells in South and East Africa. The scientific name for the second lion subspecies is Panther leo, and it resides in West Africa, Central Africa, and Asia. The lion is considered to have evolved in Eastern and Southern Africa approximately 124,000 years ago. They were found throughout the world, including Europe, North and Central America, Africa, the Middle East, and India. Lions vanished from North America about 10,000 years ago, the Balkans around 2,000 years ago, and Palestine during the Crusades. They now live only in Africa and India. How do they behave? The word challenging is frequently applied to this independent, stubborn breed. He's intelligent and has a strong sense of self, expecting to be treated as an equal, not as a pet. He wants to please his people, but he also has his own agenda and must often be reminded of what he's been asked to do. The Tibetan Mastiff is a loyal family guardian who takes his job seriously and is aloof or reserved towards strangers. Early socialization that continues throughout his life will help prevent him from becoming territorially aggressive. Enrolling him in a puppy kindergarten class is a great start. Inviting visitors over regularly and taking him to busy parks, stores that allow dogs, and on leisurely strolls to meet neighbors will also help him polish his social skills. Generally, big cats are solitary animals. However, lions are the exception to this. Lions live in groups known as prides, which can contain as many as 40 lions. However, some lions of both sexes become nomads and prefer to live alone. Despite being very strong and often active, lions spend much of the day sleeping. In fact, the average amount of time they spend moving is 2 hours a day, and they can sleep for up to 20 hours a day. This is because they do not have many sweat glands, so in order to conserve energy, they will lie about and rest. They are more active at night when it is cooler, although they do most of their hunting during the day. Now let's find out, if these two animals came face to face, who would win a hypothetical fight between a Tibetan Mastiff and a lion? Tibetan Mastiffs are certainly majestic and muscular canines who were traditionally used to guard cattle in the Himalayas. While they have an intimidating presence, the idea of them engaging in a lion fight is largely a myth. Lions are heavier, more agile, razor-sharp claws, canine teeth, powerful jaws, and ultimate stubborn big cats, and most importantly, they are wild animals built for killing. Their instincts is just kill, that's it for every other creature except for their clan. They roam the grassland, killing to survive, mating and winning the right to be an alpha male. There's no way a Tibetan Mastiff could even get a scratch bite to a lion. While it's true that Tibetan Mastiffs are solid beasts with robust genetics designed to keep predators in check, we're talking about the king of the jungle here. Lions live and breathe hunting. In principle, a large or brave enough Tibetan Mastiff might launch an offensive against a lion, but let's be honest, it's not a fair fight. Lions have long retractable claws, muscular hind legs for lunging, and jaws that can smash apart buffalo skulls. Tibetan Mastiffs are not noted for their agility, and they do not perform well in obedience or agility events. On short stretches, they may exceed 20 miles per hour, 32 kilometers per hour. Lions, while not as agile as other big cats like tigers, are nevertheless powerful and athletic. They can sprint up to 50 miles per hour, 80 kilometers per hour in short bursts, and jump more than 10 feet, 3 meters vertically. A single Mastiff wouldn't have a chance at killing a lion. They are much smaller. The only reason they look big is because their fur makes them appear bigger. In short, the strength and agility of the Mastiff can scare a human being, but not a lion. So no matter how much you like the Mastiff, if the two were to fight, there are all chances that the lion will win.